Are you ready, Kit? Okay. Here we go. Okay, so we are leaving the Pendleton Adventure Trailhead. It's been actually kind of a cool place. We've been here for 2 nights. We got here on Saturday, and I think because it was so doggone windy, there was nobody here at all. Somebody came in a car Saturday evening, went for a sunset walk and left, so that was cool. And then Sunday there were a fair number of people in and out all day long doing mountain bike rides and going for hikes and stuff like that. And the trails were pretty nice. Kit and I enjoyed it. And then Sunday evening, 2 big toy haulers pulled in, and they spent the night. They left pretty early this morning. I think they were actually back on the road probably by 7:30. And that's been it. So pretty pleasant. And let's miss this big pot. Whoops, not quite missed that big pothole. Okay, now we're on the road. So speaking of time, it is 12:25 in the afternoon on Monday, June the 2nd. Nothing like getting an early start, huh, Kit? We've been busy doing stuff. And I was talking to a friend of mine for an hour and a half this morning, so there's that. Some things are more important than others. We're going to drive about 114 miles total today. And we got a couple of quirky stops. Hopefully both of them are going to pan out. We'll see. We'll see. So that's what we got going on. Temperature is 67 degrees. It's supposed to be 73 today here. And then it starts warming up as the days progress. By the weekend, it's going to be up in the mid-80s. I'm heading toward Boise, so I have no idea what the temperatures are going to be like as I get closer there. But, you know, it's going to be whatever it's going to be. At least I don't feel like I'm truly in winter anymore. Isn't this an interesting formation on the sides of the road? It looks like an old fortress. I have no idea why they built it there. I mean, it looks like they were doing it as a guard shack of some sort originally. No idea. Alright, so we got to get back down here to the freeway, I guess. And we're still on the north side of Pendleton. Welcome to the Real West. Letterbuck, that sign said. Well, we have been climbing steadily for about 10 miles. Like switchbacks through the mountains. And, I mean, literally kind of switchbacks on the interstate, because the speed limit's 70, but the curves were marked at 45. And we are now up to about 3,500 feet in elevation, when we started off at about 1,000 feet in elevation. So we've picked up quite a bit of elevation, and where we can see past the hillsides here, the views have been beautiful. So the rest area that's on the other side of the road here is the one that I wanted to be in to see the historical tool shed. But alas, no. We're gonna take a little break here though for a few minutes. I'm gonna get a snack. We're gonna chill out for a minute. And then we'll get back on the road. I mean, I think we've got under an hour until we get to our destination.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise. Okay, we're going to take a drive through Baker.
And I'm actually going to stop again and see if I can reroute us off of the interstate for the rest of our drive, which I don't think is going to be very long. But I saw a sign for the Geisner Grand Hotel, so I'm curious about that. No idea what that is. Another Oregon Trail Interpretive Center up to our left. And at one point, I saw a sign that said tour route, you know, with an arrow off to the right. So I think I kind of like the idea of doing something like the Tour Loop Info Center, doing something like the Oregon Trail by RV. Let's try not missing the turn that Google doesn't think is the actual turn. And Google thinks I'm going to stop and walk up the hill, apparently. But there is a road to get up here. So we're going to see whether or not this turns out to be a good idea. Steep. I'm going to just go down here a little bit. Looks like some kind of sign down here, although I guess that could just be a mailbox. Oh no, that's cattle. Alright, never mind. Okay, hang on, I'm going to figure this out. Decide if I'm going to do this or something else. We're going to go for it. It's a 200-foot elevation gain, it looks like, according to Onyx. And it's paved. I've arrived. Not quite. Now we've arrived. I think. I'm going to double check that this is the area that I thought it was. A little breezy up here today. Pretty though. Let me check the map and make sure this is where I thought I wanted to be. And get level and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, we'll see where we are.
The next day.
Well, we found the top of the mountain, Kit. Want to kind of see how much further the road goes. See if I can see. That was quite the hike up the hill, though. Well, look at this. This is kind of pretty. Kit, get away from the edge. Looks like they've dumped a bunch more down below. And look at this. I could have come all the way up here and parked, but I think I'm better wind protected where I stopped. And I think I'm glad I did. I was having enough trouble with the grade of the road. It was just like super steep. Anyway, so I'm happy where I am. And I got a great signal. Got like 500 down and 30 up on T-Mobile. Oh, look at this. How pretty. Alright. Hopefully we can get to some of that when we walk down the road from where we're camped in the morning. Maybe. Or maybe not. Might have to overland to get down there. Gonna go take a look over here and see what I can see. It's only about 63 degrees out, I think. And the wind is howling, so it feels more like it's in the 50s. I don't really feel like I've got enough clothes on for this weather. Oh yeah, look at this. Very, very cool. Okay, is that cool? And we're gonna make our way back down the hill. Get back in the wind protected status. So you could come up this access road, but not much of a road, and it's pretty steep too. Could go all the way up and around like I just did, but as I said, I'm pretty happy where I am down below. Oh, look at that, I got out of the wind for a minute. That's much better. So where I'm camped is about 4,000 feet, and I think the top is like 4,800, 4,600 maybe, not quite sure. But it's a pretty steep walk up the road, for sure. And you know my boy Kit. Where is my boy Kit? There he is. He's always happy to get out and romp and hike and play. Hard for me to believe he's actually a Chihuahua. He doesn't really act like one, at least in the way that I always think of Chihuahuas as being, you know, purse puppies and couch potatoes. He's a couch potato some of the time, but he's always happy to go do something fun and exciting. Whew. Alright, I'm about to head back into the wind as soon as I step out onto the road. So I think I'm going to stop this right here.